Welcome back, my furry friend lovers. How we all doing today? I want to say thank you for returning for another one of my videos. And for those of you who are new to my videos, I want to say thank you for joining us as well. This is Skelly by Nature, and I am Skelly. And today I'm going to be talking and showing you guys something that I come across a lot. People know I love talking about getting dogs back to the natural ways, of whether it's natural food, natural medicine, things like that. Well, one of the things that I get a lot is, whether they're just busy people, whether there's, single people with dogs. So many times I come across people saying, well, I can't make my dog's food. I just don't have the time. So this is a video that I'm going to show you how to prepare a meal that will give you a few meals as well as your dog. So it's a combination. It takes very short spurts of time, but over a couple days, and then you're done. And then, like I said, you have a couple meals for yourself as well as meals for your dog. So with the first step, what we're going to do is what we're going to need right now is we're going to need a crock pot. We're going to need 1.5 cups of water, and we're going to need you're going to need to get yourself a chicken, a whole chicken, okay? So I'm going to be doing a whole chicken today. If you want, you can do chicken breasts as well. But I like using a whole chicken because part of this recipe too as well is we're going to be mashing up those bones, which when mashed up is good for your dog. It offers a lot of glucosamine and a lot of good benefits for your dog as well. So with that being said, the first step that we're going to do is we're going to take our crock pot and we're going to take, I have myself a 4.5 pound chicken. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to place this right into my crock pot. And my next step is going to be, like I said, 1.5 cups of water. And I'm just going to pour that right in. And what I'm going to do is cover up my crock pot. And I'm just going to set this right onto high. Okay? Now, time-wise, this is going to vary for people. I do know that my old crock pot took a little longer than my new crock pot. It also is going to depend on the size of your chicken. So what we're going to do is we're just going to keep cooking this. Like I said, I put this on high. I'm going to let this sit for about 2.5 hours. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over. I'm going to stick a meat thermometer in there. And basically what we're looking to do is get that chicken up to 165 degrees. Okay? So when this is done, I'll see you guys at the next step. Okay, welcome back. So are you all ready for the second step? So my chicken took about 2.5 hours. I took it out. It's been sitting now for 5 to 10 minutes. And so the next thing that we're going to do is you're going to need a little container. And now the next step is we're going to be stripping any of the meat off. We're going to put it in the container. And then any of the bones and scrap, we're going to actually put back into the crock pot. And when we do that, we're going to top it off so that it's covered with water. And then we're going to put a little apple cider vinegar in there. So let me go ahead and cut this chicken up. And then I'm going to return, like I said, everything back into the crock pot, fill it with water. We're going to put a little apple cider vinegar in there. That's going to help draw a little bit of the glucosamine and everything out. And basically what we're looking to do right now is we're going to build a stock. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that on low, and we're going to let that sit for 24 hours, okay? So this is the second step, and when that is done, I'll come back and we'll go to the next step. And like I said, we're going to cut any of the good meat, put it away, and this is the meat that we're going to use to create part of our meals as well as part of our dogs. So stay tuned, and I'll be back. Well, it's now been 24 hours, and my broth should be done. And so we're going to now move on to the next step. Now this next step is actually part of making your dog's food. So as of yesterday, we scraped off, we cut out all the meat. So this is all the meat that came off of it. See, Mookie likes the meat. Good boy, Mook. So you'll see I get some big pieces like this, you know, that I like to use. And this is what you can use for your, whatever you feel that you want to make. For me personally, I'm one that I usually like to go make a chicken salad, get like a week's worth of sandwiches. You can go ahead and make, you know, chicken soup with your broth. You know, whatever else you want to make with your chicken. As you noticed, I didn't season anything at all yet. So this is unseasoned chicken. It's just purely cooked chicken. And this is what, like I said, we're going to use for, some parts of this is going to be used for your meal, and some parts of this is going to be used for your dog's meal. So, according to the proportions that I'm making, I'm going to be making a bigger batch because I've got multiple dogs here that I'm going to be feeding for a few days. So, you're going to see that I'm going to be making a batch that's going to fill this bowl, which might be too big. Say hi, Teddy. Which might be too big for, say, you if you have a small dog. If you got a big dog, this will give you, you know, 3-4 days, depending on how much your dog eats. But if you get a smaller dog, you may want to take these proportions and break them down a little bit smaller. So I've actually gone ahead and already have done some of the other things. So after your broth is done, and it's now been 24 hours, what I do is I shut the crock pot down, pull the lid off, let that cool down for a bit, and then while that's happening, what I did is I started boiling some sweet potatoes. If you want to use brown rice, go ahead and use brown rice. I like to use sweet potatoes. There's a little more nutritional factor to them. So I did that. The other thing that I did is I took my vegetables. I cut up my vegetables, put them through the blender. Today I used carrots, I used a little bit of broccoli, cauliflower, and some kale. And then after that I did my fruits. So when I do my vegetables, you know, for this amount here, I fill it right up to the top, and then I do a full blender full. When I do my fruit, I do a half of a blender. And so today I use strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries. Blended that all up, put that in a separate bowl, and then what I did is, like I said, I boiled my sweet potatoes. What I like to do with my sweet potatoes is I boil them, pull them off to the side. I drain that water out. I put it in a little container. I'm going to water it down a little bit, and that's what I use for a feed inside my garden. So I like to use it with my greens, you know, my lettuce and things like that. So it's a great feed because as you're boiling that some nutrition comes out of that and goes into the water. So I like to retain that and reuse my water. So now that I have pretty much, the chicken's been cooled down. So as you can see, I got my vegetables all cut up and ready to go. I've got my fruit in a separate bowl, all ready to go, chopped up. If you're going to be doing fruit and adding fruit to your dog's diet, a little tip is put it in the freezer. It's a lot better. You get more chunks. If you don't freeze it, you're going to get like a puree. So keep that in mind depending on what you want. Like I said, I got the chicken that we trimmed off yesterday. I've got my broth all ready to go, and I got my sweet potatoes boiled and ready to go. So now the next step, what we're going to do is we're now going to take the bones out of the broth, and we're going to put it into our blender, and we're going to blend that all up. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now as you can see, I have kind of it's like a bone marrow puree. It is going to be, you know, kind of slushy-ish. So because the bones were nice and soft. So make sure that one thing you want to do is make sure all the bones get grounded up. You don't want any chunks of bone. So now the next step to making your dog food is I'm going to throw in my veggies. Okay, and throw those in, off. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in my fruit. Get that all put in. Hey, Bobo. Teddy, stop being a hog. Okay, and then the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw in my potatoes. Okay, so it is my sweet potatoes. Teddy, off. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the chicken that we have, and like I said, I'm just going to take pieces that we chunked off, because I mean there's already a good amount of protein in here with the bone and everything like that. So I didn't chop this up. I should have chopped it up first. So we're going to go ahead and throw the chicken in. And what I do is I try to use a lot of the scrap pieces. I save a lot of the bigger pieces for myself. Like I said, those are the pieces that you're going to want to use to make your meal. So you can go ahead and another good idea for yourself is when you do the sweet potatoes, you could do the sweet potatoes, put some of the sweet potatoes in for your dog, and keep some of the sweet potatoes for yourself. That's part of making your own meal. Like I said, I don't do that because basically I'm going to be making a chicken salad, for lunch. Okay, so you can see I added the chicken and I added the bone puree. And what I'm going to do at this point is I'm just going to mix this all up, and then what I do is I scoop it out and put it in my dog's bowl according to whatever amount they need. As you can see here, I still got a good amount of chicken left over. Like I said, this is chicken for you to make whatever you want. What I'm going to do is a good thing to do. I like to do is I take a little bit of the fruit puree, kind of mix it all in together, add a little mayo, put it together. You can throw a little bit of the veggies in there as well, and you make yourself a nice salad, a nice like chicken salad for sandwiches or something like that. Another thing you can do is mix a little bit of all of this together as well. Go down to the store, get yourself one of those Pillsbury pre-rolls or like a pre-pie made, and make some like a pot pie or some sort. So you can do whatever you want, but this is a way for you to have quick little spurts of time that you can get something done over a couple days that will supply you with a couple days of food, your dogs with a couple days of food, and hopefully this helps get a little more people who are busy people or single people who try to say, it's hard to cook for, a dog or myself, it's only me, or I get a whole family. So this is one way of solving that issue, so where you can get a few meals for yourself and your family, or in a few meals for your dog as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little something today. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Go ahead and share this video with any other dog lovers that you know that might be interested in this. As well, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. The more subscribers, the more I can do. And until the next video, be beautiful, be awesome.